Shalom, first and foremost, like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who are teaching this truth and sincerity. And a shout out to Yakim, out there in four corners of the earth proclaiming this truth. Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Rakakadash, Barakatah. So, here we are, another week, going out and prophesying the downfall of Babylon the Great, Basra, America, and, well, what do you see happening? You know, all around, you're seeing businesses close down, been happening for a while. We're starting to enter into the Passover. Tomorrow night begins the Passover for most of us. So, what does that mean? That means a lot of weeding out's going to happen, you know, among Israel, you know, and these bootleg camps, you know, not just the bootleg camps, but even Great Millstone, a lot of weeding out's going to happen. You know, this is just what the Passover means, you know, that whatever leaven the whole lump, yeah, that's going to be dealt with, you know. So the idea is to purge, you know, to purge out the leaven, you know, don't let the leaven the whole lump. And among that purge, you can see judgments going out. I mean, there's just so much that happened over last week, you know, with Kush, the airliner going down. Then you have the fact that in Venezuela, because the U.S. did an EMP attack against Venezuela, you know, people are resorting to getting their water out of the sewers, and that's not the only thing that's going on over there, but that's one of the main things, as their infrastructure is being destroyed. When they try to pour water out of their faucets, oil is coming out, you know, so a lot of sabotage is going on with them, you know, as you will, Call of Duty secret groups, you know, secret militarized groups going in there and sabotaging everything, just like Maduro said, you know, because this is the same thing that they were doing in Syria to make you believe that there were protests going on across the nation. Of course, when the power's out, the people are going to protest that, but who caused the power to go out in the first place? It wasn't Maduro, it was the U.S. government, an EMP attack, you know, to destabilize the place, and they're doing more destabilizations in Syria, you know, as well, because that's the main reason for that false flag shooting, was because, of course, they plan to go back into Syria. They are planning to set up another false flag to blame the Assad government again, you know, just like they always do. Same shit, but on a different day. They try to blame the Assad government, saying that he's using weapons against his own people. And Donald J. Trump, as yours truly, as last American great vagabond, has put it out there. It's kind of funny, that name, because that's a total name for Esau, vagabond. But anyhow, he put it out there that pretty much Donald J. Trump just gave $500 million, and you can look these up, $500 million to the White Helmets, you know, because they're about to pull off another false flag. But what about that false flag last year that they wanted to pull off near the end? Well, they're getting close to pulling that off. You know, it just wasn't the right timing. But now that Idlib and province is being pretty much eradicated from these terrorist groups, and this SDF has to move the terrorists into Iraq because they can't stay in Syria anymore, you know, just proves that the whole thing is dissolving. So they have to come up with a false flag attack to say that it was Bashar al-Assad when we know who it is. So that's what's going on there. But they don't want you to think about it. No, they want you to think that some fucking nut went off and shot up a mosque, you know, to, you know, kind of push the narrative of Muslims versus Jews versus Christians. When it has nothing to do with that, because of course, I mean, all three of those are all false groups anyways. The only people that this word was given to were the Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel. So, you know, to keep this thing going, you know, World War III, you know, they have to push that narrative. And so what better way to get gun control, right, than to say that this guy went nuts and shut up a mosque, and coincidentally was a big follower of Donald J. Trump. You know, and of course we know that that's fake news. We know it's fake news because of the fact that they have to push their narrative, and that is to push Bernie Sanders to run against Donald J. Trump. And most likely Bernie Sanders would be the one to win things, you know. They even give you a depiction of that in the Simpsons cartoon, showing that Donald J. Trump only got one term. So they have to build up Bernie Sanders, and what better way than with all these other things going on, you know, to say that Donald J. Trump did this or that. Now, if you're in the know, then you know that these people are nothing more than puppets anyways, and this whole voting system is nothing more than a Ponzi scheme, to make you believe that you went out there and voted, even though the next guy that comes in that said that he would bring peace really just brings more war. It's just another war pig, because Satan is the one that runs everything. And Satan, being Esau, being Edom, you're not going to have any changes. Even if the person seems to be of dark skin. A lot of people thought that Barack Hussein Obama was going to bring about changes. No, man, he was a Hamite, still our enemy. And what did he bring? Nothing. He brought Obamacare. Oh, how good did that work out? Free health care. Right. The Affordable Health Care Act. Right. That's why a lot of people are going into Mexico for dental care. That's why a lot of people are going into Mexico, for better health care. That's just one of many reasons they're going into Mexico. And the reason why Donald J. Trump wants to build the wall is to keep people from leaving America, because a lot of people want to get out. Where's the jobs? Okay, let's see. J.C. Penney's now, another holding company going. Macy's downsizing also. Payless totally gone. Shopko pretty much gone. A lot of these places that you used to be able to go buy, sell, and trade. Well, pretty much buy. And the places you can buy, sell, and trade. Let's face it, the record store, that's gone. Pretty much. So you can't really buy, sell, or trade there. The GameStop, that's been having a lot of problems, so you can't really buy, sell, or trade there. It's to where everything's going to be on them chips. And in order to be able to buy, sell, or trade, you're going to have everything on the chips, because everything's getting digitalized. This being the year Karagma, we're just going to see more push for it. Didn't say that everything's going to happen this year, but we did say that'd be the year Karagma. And we're going to see a lot happen, especially once, a lot of people are in an uproar. Now, if Donald J. Trump gets reelected, you can see an uproar of the people that way too. Yeah, either way, though, pretty much, though, it's a divide and conquer plan. That's why they got to set up the false flags, and that's why they're about to set off another one in Idlib. If not in Idlib, somewhere else in Syria, to say that Assad did it so they can bomb Damascus. Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 11. This is going out to all those that, don't let the leaven the whole bread, because that's what the Passover is really about, So we can't leaven the whole lump, I meant to say. Don't let the leaven the whole lump. Isaiah chapter 29, verse 11. And the vision of all is become unto you, as the words of a book that is sealed, which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he saith, I cannot, for it is sealed. So, pretty much, the people that he wants are getting sealed, while the others, they can't read it. It's encrypted. They don't understand. All they can come in with is Christianity, and Christians, they don't understand what's going on. They haven't a clue. Have you ever been to one of their Bible studies? Before you came to this truth? I'm pretty sure that it just went on, and you weren't learning anything out of it. Really, you were just there to eat refreshments and all that, and act like the Most High was on your side when he really wasn't. And the book is delivered to him that is not learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he saith, I am not learned. Wherefore the Most High said, for as much as the people draw near me, with their mouth and with their lips do honor me, but have removed their heart far from me, and their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men. Let's talk about ISUPK for a minute. Where is all the attention? They say that there is no other teacher but General Yohanan. So the attention is to General Yohanan and what he teaches. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't follow leaders, but most of all, you're supposed to follow the Son of Man. You're supposed to follow Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, and not leaders, but he takes us all upon himself. Therefore, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work among the people, even a marvelous work and a wonder. For the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the understanding of their prudent men shall be hid. And that's just it. We are hidden, until the appointed time. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Most High, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us? Now, a lot of this is talking about the secret societies, the Illuminati, the secret council, because, it was supposed to be a secret society, but now everything's out there. Everybody knows the word Illuminati, Freemasonry, Skull and Bones, just like I spoke about last week. Everybody knows about it, but it used to be a secret. But there is no more secret council. There's nothing that the Most High don't know. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed. It's talking about Esau, Edom, as the potter's clay. For the work that say of him that made it, he made me not. Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding. That's right. Esau never understood a word of this. Like I was just mentioning about the Bible studies. You can just go there pretty much to eat and have a drink and act like you know it, but you don't really know shit. You know, you're not being given that understanding. You're not being fed anything. It is not yet a very little while, and Lebanon shall be turned into a fruitful field, and the fruitful field shall be esteemed as a forest. And the day shall the deaf hear the words of the book, and the eyes of the blind shall see out of obscurity and out of darkness. And that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to get those that were once blinded to this out of their blinded darkness and into the light. And the only way to do that is to come to this understanding. So if you're receiving understanding of this, and this all makes sense, then you are an Israelite, despite what you might look like, despite what all them other groups might tell you. You know, if you look like an Edomite, that you're an Edomite, you may not be an Edomite. You may find out that you're actually an Israelite. You go back to being one of the 12 tribes, even though you may not look like them, you know. And that's one thing that they can't stand, especially those that want to push the narrative that there's black Hebrew Israelites or black only Israelites, you know, to push the same narrative. But that's all being dissolved, even though Alex Jones and others will try to say that it's not dissolved, you know. It's a nice try, Esau, but we were aware of what you were going to do, and we're aware that you're going to start shutting down channels. But that must mean, though, that if you shut down channels and you get us off the internet, then that our work is done. So we got to be diligent until that time comes. And that's another thing, you know, being diligent, or else death and destruction will come for you. As you see, death and destruction all around, and all these places getting judged. The Midwest, cyclone, you got, you know, all these other things. You know, they're going to take the guns away from the people in New Zealand, you know, and they'll probably use the incident of New Zealand to start advocating more for gun control. So that tells me right there that Bernie Sanders will be most likely the one that wins the presidency. Now, that's not saying that that's going to happen, but what I am saying, though, is that it's a premonition, you know. Again, they show you this predictive programming in a bunch of stuff, you know. But like everything else, though, this being the year Karagma, the biggest push is the mark. Part of that is disarming the people. And what better way than a bunch of false flags to say that some bad shooter went and shot up a bunch of shit, so now they're going to take the guns away. You know, that's what's really going on, and you have to have eyes to see this. So hope all this has been edifying. Until next time, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shai, Shimmer Kalkanash, Barak Thumb. Hope this has been edifying. Death to America and death to you 2/3.